Why are you so interested in this case, Joe?
Yeah, Joe? You piece of shit!
Easy.
Look, I was just looking for a news story for the paper. It's the biggest piece of news that's happened for a long time. That's all I wanted.
You seem to be acting awfully...
suspiciously.
Yeah.
You're scared. In this big, scary room with these big, scary walls. Can you hear them? Can you hear the other prisoners? You're down south now.
I'm not scared. I just want to know why I'm here.
Well, you should be.
Hey!
Should be.
Look, I'm not a criminal. I was just trying to investigate the case for the paper. That's all.
Care to tell us what you thought you were doing at Larry's flat?
I told you I was trying to investigate the story.
We got a bona fide Scooby-Doo over here.
If this is Scooby-Doo, you're Mr. Withers.
What do you say to me?
Hey, easy!
It is Scooby-Doo when you go around putting pillowcases over people's heads.
Come on, man, help us out here.
Look, in all honesty, all I was trying to do was investigate the case. I thought I'd have a look around, see how things were going, and try to get to the bottom of the whole thing. That's all.
Listen, Sonny, we're the detectives around here, so why don't you stop poking your nose where it doesn't belong and let us do our jobs?
But I just wanted to...
We'll take care of it. Go back to writing about memes or something.
Yeah, why don't you just go off and give Harambe a good old hand job?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, everybody just calm down! Ugh.
This is ridiculous!
You telling me that you genuinely buy that she never tossed off a gorilla?
I'm a cop.
I'm a cop.
No, I'm a cop.
She ain't a cop.
We're cops.
We're a cop.
So there was an open casting call for co-hosts. They were looking for a sidekick for Larry, but only about a dozen or so people put their name forward. I mean, it was a dire scene.
All good talk shows have a sidekick that the host can bounce off. You kind of need that atmosphere. And Larry was adamant about being taken as seriously as a proper talk show.
None of them had good chemistry with Larry in the screen test, so the whole idea was abandoned. However, that's when there was a funny twist of fate.
2 weeks go by, and one night, Larry's out at the pub. He's just about to go home, and he notices a man slumped over, lying in the street.
And that's when Larry helps him up. And who could be but George? They just start hitting it off, joking around, laughing just like two peas in a pod. And that's when the producers noticed, and they were just like, that's our guy.
Now George was a kind of an oddball. He always showed up on time, but never said a word until he was on air. Like, not a single word.
He once called Larry on the phone whilst they're in the same room and proceeded to stare at him for the next 20 minutes. You couldn't make this stuff up.
We once saw George overdose on Nerds. You know, the trademark candy sweet. We didn't know what to do. He was just rolling around on the floor, shaking. It might have just been a sugar rush, but still, it was scary.
There was this audition after the first season, and I just got straight down there. I was putting my bits in, and I actually came away with the sign that was used in the first episode with George holding it up, using it as a clapperboard.
In a way, it was the first thing we saw of them. Their weird ways, their weird props. It just worked. Nothing more we can say.
Do you think George had anything to do with the disappearance?
I don't know. How could I possibly comment on that? I mean, the guy was weird, sure, but he's not a murderer or a kidnapper. They were friends.
He did it.
Sorry, what?
I'm sure of it. Put me on the record. I'll testify.
All of this has always been on the record.
Good. I'm ready.
I don't think he had anything to do with it. I think, if anything, he's a target now. Whoever did it will come for him next. I think that George is just as sad as we are to see Larry gone.
But you have to remember, it wasn't just Larry and George. There was phenomenal input from the house band, the guests, even Ratman.
Everyone seems to talk about the house band and the guests, but no one ever mentions me. I worked on a show too, you know. They even talk about Ratman.
The house band was an integral part of the show, but the location was less than ideal. They were situated approximately 30 miles away in the building next door.
They had to be off-site, so it was a bit of a logistical nightmare for the crew, but the band didn't seem to mind, so they were very professional.
But what many people who might not be as familiar with the show might not realise is that the musicians were classically trained. It's just the show couldn't afford real instruments. But did that matter? No. Larry just made them out of cardboard and that's what they played. And you couldn't even tell. That's how good they were. That's genius. That's genius on a monumental scale.
Kid, I like your style. How about I walk with you?
Oh.
Be quiet. Silence!
What the hell, man?
Okay, here's the deal. I lied. I don't like your style. I'm here for some information, and I hear that you may have some.
What kind of information?
For the reason that you were in that cell. Information about the disappearance of a man named Larry.
Who's asking?
They call me the Frenchman.
You're Spanish.
I'm impressed. Not all people can tell. It's part of my cover. Genius, right?
It was just the glasses that gave it away. How'd you know Larry?
I just know things, okay?
Who are you?
Said I'm the Frenchman. It's my job to know things.
Well, you're not doing a very good job if you have to come around here asking me, are you?
Listen here, pipsqueak. I'm only here because I thought we could work together. You give me some info, I give you some info. Bit of quid pro quo.
You could do with some information.
No, that's why I'm here.
I've come to a bit of a dead end, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Oh god, they found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
Who found you?
The Libyans. I stole some plutonium from them. They aren't happy about it.
Who are you?
I'm the Frenchman. Don't you forget it. We don't have much time. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I must go.
We've got so much left to do.
Here, take this. It's all I have for now. There's not a lot of names left. They won't be hiding much longer.
What am I meant to do?
I'm sorry. They must be here any second now. I must leave. I know too much. Au revoir.